Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Shefali Singla, and in this session, we are going to discuss the concept of ER model. I'm saying good morning because I can see that there are not many people who doesn't respond during the session. So, guys, please wake up and be attentive in today's session. So, those who have already joined the session, quickly give me the confirmation if the audio and the video is fine. Let me see your comments. I hope that audio and video is fine and there is no problem. Yes? All right. So, great. Thank you so much, Ritu, for giving me the confirmation. So, I hope that you must be having an idea that what is ER model. If you have the idea, please write that in the chat section. जिनको idea नहीं है, don't worry. Just sit and see what is ER model and how it is used and what sort of questions can be asked. So, you need not to worry about taking down the notes because anyhow, I'll be sharing the PDF and after that we will be discussing the questions previous year gate questions on the basis of the model in the textbook masterclass, which is free for all the students. In the meantime, that is we'll be finishing this session by 5 p.m. and we'll have the discussion over the previous year gate questions at 8 p.m. So you'll be having 3 hours to revise the concept whatever we are going to cover in this 1 hour. Okay. Great. So first of all, ER model is nothing but this is used to model the logical view of the system. Basically, it represents that in database what tables or what entities will be there, what will be their attributes, and how they are related to each other. So these all things are represented with the help of the ER model. So in the ER model, we will be using a few terms like entity. Entity is something like it's a object which has some physical existence. जो भी object है जिसकी physical existence है, definitely उसकी कुछ properties भी होंगी. For example, if I talk about this pen, so this pen has the physical existence and it do have the properties like it's black in color and it is used for the writing purpose और जो pen आप लोग use करते हो those are like we have the different colors of the pen. कुछ pen होते हैं जो देखने में ही सारे same होते हैं but ink is different, and but there is something which uniquely identifies the different objects. Okay, दो marker ले लो जिनका company name is same and color is same, everything is same, but still we can uniquely identify it. Can you tell me that on what basis we can identify them? Very good evening, Shubham. On what basis we can identify them? So definitely at least their barcode should be different, right? So barcode अगर different है तो हम uniquely identify कर सकते हैं. So these are some properties which are used to define the object. So an entity may be an object with a physical existence or it may be an object with a conceptual existence. Next, we have the entity type. This is nothing but this is the object of the entity. And next, we have the entity set. Name itself suggests that it's a set of all entities that is known as entity set. Okay? यहाँ तक कोई डाउट? अब हमारे पास कुछ representations use होती हैं which are used in the ER model. For example, here I'm talking about the entity. So let's assume that we are constructing a database for the university. So one of the entity is the main component is the student, faculty, management. So I'm considering one entity that is student. Okay, so how to represent the entity? That is represented by the rectangle. Representation के basis पे questions आ चुके हैं और definitely आ भी सकते हैं. So do take care of this. So entity is represented by a rectangle. Okay. Now every entity will be having the attributes. So attribute is, this is a representation for entity. Symbol is rectangle. If two or more than two entities are there, or even in the single entity also, there is a relationship. अब दो entities हैं, student है, course है, definitely they are related, that which student has enrolled for which course. So there is some relationship required. In order to represent the relationship, we are going to use a diamond sign. This is diamond and it is used to represent the relationship. Now, there are some attributes which are going to define the entity, which is representing the properties of entity. So, attributes are represented by oval. This is oval, and this is representing the attribute. Okay, let me go to the next slide. So relationship type basically represents the association between two entities. For example, I have taken the example like student is enrolled in some course. So there is one entity, that is student, and student has enrolled for some course. That means course and student are related course through the through enrollment. Relation क्या है? Student ने enroll किया है. So enroll is the relationship between student and the course. So basically this is how we represent ER model. अभी शायद आपको थोड़ा बहुत idea आया होगा कि हाँ ऐसा कुछ देखा है ना? So we have talked about the symbols of the entity, relationship and attribute. अब कई बार हमारे पास if there are attributes of the student like student ID, student name, roll number is over, that is the SID, age, address, phone number, like that. तो हमारे पास हमेशा एक key attribute होता है. We need to represent the key attribute in the database so that we can uniquely identify all tuples of relation. So key attribute is represented by the oval with underline. This is oval with underline. This is nothing but this is representing the key attribute. What other type of attributes are there? We have talked about the entity, then we have talked about the attribute, key attribute, relationship. What else? We do have a composite attribute. Composite attribute means which is having the different parts. For example, if we have the address, we need to represent the address. So here we will be having the like house number, street number, pin code, area. So this is nothing but this is a composite attribute. Representation for composite attribute. Now sometimes there is a relationship that is known as the weak entity relationship. So that is represented by a diamond with border. This is weak relationship, right? And similarly we have weak entity. Basically weak relationship is used to relate the weak entities. Weak entity is something where we do not have a key attribute. So this is the representation for weak entity. I hope this is clear. तो ये कुछ बेसिक सिंबल्स हैं जिसके बेसिस पे क्वेश्चंस आए हुए हैं एंड will use this while designing the ER model, and definitely the different type of questions can be asked on the basis of this topic. पहला representation के basis पे है, second one is on the basis of like you will be given with the scenario or you might be given with the ER model and you have to return that how many minimum number of tables are required to represent that ER model. Okay, so most important concept from this topic is the minimization. But before going to that, we'll be covering the basics. Guys, quickly give me the confirmation if till this point it's clear to everyone. Although I haven't discussed much, कुछ भी हमने ज्यादा डिस्कस नहीं किया अभी तक. हमने सिर्फ ये देखा है कि एंटिटी क्या होती है. जब भी हम टेबल कंस्ट्रक्ट करते हैं, वी डू हैव the relation name or the table name and the set of attributes, key attributes, composite attributes. तो इन सबको ER मॉडल में कैसे रिप्रेजेंट करना है, we have talked about the representations. Uh, Again, you need not to worry about the notes. Anyhow, I'll be sharing this PDF in the Telegram group. So, Shefali ma'am, Testbook is our official Telegram group. You guys can join this through the link, which is given in the description of this video. I guess that's the third or the fourth link in the description box. Apart from this, in case if you have any queries or doubts, you can post that in the Telegram group so that I can clear it in the group, or if required, I'll take your doubts in the live session. You can directly interact with me. You can participate in the quiz and the poll ताकि आपको ये clarity आ सके कि जो topics आप cover कर चुके हो या फिर same day में आपने topic cover किया है, whether that is clear or not. So with the help of quiz and polls, you'll be able to keep track of your preparation level. Okay. All right. So next is the degree of a relationship set. So degree basically represents that how many number of different entity sets are participating in a relationship. Okay, so basically there are three types of relationship set. One is unary relationship, binary relationship, and n-ary relationship. Name itself suggests that unary is nothing but, unary का मतलब क्या होता है? One. This means that in a relationship, only one entity is there. Okay, for example, we can say that there is a person who is married to other person. Okay, so person is married. So person is nothing but that is an entity. Person is one entity and it is related to other person with some relationship. So what is that relationship? It is married to some other person. Okay, so if you observe here in this relationship, only one entity is participating. So we can say that this married to is nothing but this is a unary relationship. So when there is only one entity set participating in a relation, the relationship is known as unary relationship. So on the basis of this, we get an idea that what is binary relationship. Binary relationship is where two entities are participating, right? So when there are two entities set participating in a relation, that relationship is known as the binary relationship. Can you give me some example of a binary relationship? I guess my image is hiding some data. So for a couple of minutes, let me switch it off. Hope it is fine. So can you tell me that what is this binary relationship already we have discussed. Any example for the binary relationship? Any example? अभी हम लोगों ने डिस्कस किया था there is an entity like student and course. अभी हमने ये एग्जांपल किया student is enrolled in some course. So in this case, course, student and book. Okay, that's a good example. Student is reading some book. Okay, so is reading will be a relationship and book will be other entity क्योंकि book का कुछ number होगा, there will be some unique name, author of the book. So these will be the attributes of the book. So student is reading some books, student is enrolled in some course. So here two entities are participating. So we can say that this is nothing but enrolled is a binary relationship. N-ary relationship means there are n entities set n entities are participating in a relationship. That relationship is known as n array. For example, this is entity 1, this is entity 2, entity, and so on. Like this, we have n entities, and there is a relationship between all these n entities. Since in this case there are n entities participating with the relationship, so this is known as n array relationship. This is clear, right? So anyone having any doubt with the definition or the different types of degree of relationship set? Okay. Let's move on to the next term, that is cardinality. Cardinality is nothing but this is the number of times an entity set participates in a relationship known as the cardinality. यानी कि एक entity set में से एक entity कितनी बार participate कर रही है in the relationship set, that is known as the cardinality. So there are three types of cardinalities: one to one, many to one, and many to many. One to one means from both the sets each cardinality is participating only one time. For example, we can say that an example for one-to-one cardinality. Okay, one student is enrolled in one course at a time. One student in one course. I guess that's not the appropriate example because many students can be enrolled in one course. So this is a better example for many to one. What I'm saying is there are many students. For example, there are many students in your batch. So many students are enrolled in one course. For example, yours is GATE 2024 batch. So that is the course. So many students. So on the student side, cardinality is many to one. Many students are enrolled in one course. इसको set की help से कैसे represent कर सकते हैं? Let me construct here. Oh, I don't have sufficient space here. Fine. Let me take here. This is for many to one. Okay. So this is the set student. Here we have many students, S1, S2, and S3. And there is the relationship that is R1, R2, R3. And there is a list of course. And here I'm representing to the course GATE. GATE hai, NIC hai, but we are talking about GATE. Let's assume that there are many students enrolled in the GATE batch. So this is nothing but this is many to one, that is many students are enrolled in one course. So when entities in one entity set can take part only once in a relationship set, and entities in other entity set can take part more than once, अब यहाँ पे एक से ज्यादा बार part ले रहे हैं in the relationship set, then cardinality is many to one. Similarly, we do have one to many. Like one employee or one manager is managing n employees. Okay, one to one, like there is one manager for each department. Manager, one manager manages only one department. Or you can take here the example of the HOD. There is some HOD that manages one department. So one manager is managing one department. This is the example for one to one department. तो यहाँ पे दोनों entity set में से each entity will be participating only once from both the entity set. This is the example for one-to-one. And many-to-many is when entities in all entity set can participate more than once in the relationship cardinality. That is known as many-to-many relationship, many-to-many cardinality. Any example for many-to-many cardinality? Any example for many-to-many cardinality? For example, when you are going for a training program, many students are like, we want to cover many things. Like during your training, you are interested in learning the concepts of some programming language as well as you want to prepare for the GATE exam. So we can say that many students are enrolled in many courses. So I'm taking here the example like student, enrolled, and courses. So many students are enrolled in many courses. This is nothing but this is the representation of many to many cardinality. Correct? Is the difference clear between the degree and cardinality? We'll be talking about one or two more concepts and then we'll jump to the main concept of ER model, that is minimization. On the basis of the definition of a degree, we had a question in the exam. So quickly give me the confirmation if it is clear to everyone that what is the degree and what is cardinality. And guys, I have told you many a times that please refrain yourself from writing all clear because even I have given the reason for the same as well. Because when you are writing, it's all clear. All clear के दो मतलब होते हैं ना. All clear means it's completely clear. मतलब कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आया और दूसरा मतलब obviously it's like everything is clear to you. So it's always good if you can write clear or crystal clear. If 100% clear, all clear का मतलब ये है कि बहुत अच्छे से समझ में आ गया. So better term is crystal clear. Okay. Anyways, it's completely your choice. All right, next one. Then we have the participation constraint. Participation constraint says that the entities in the entity set, if all the entities are participating in some relation, then we will say that it's a total participation. If there are few entities which are not participating, then we can say that that is having the partial participation, means कुछ entities participate कर रही हैं और कुछ entities participate नहीं कर रही है. Okay. So, total participation constraint is applied on the entity participating in the relationship set. First one is the total participation. Each entity in the entity set must participate in the relationship. हर एक entity relationship में participate करेगी. Okay, for example, we have taken the example of many students are enrolled in many courses. So, let's assume that whatever courses are there for total participation, this is the relationship, and here we have the courses. So R1, this is student, this is for relationship, and this is for courses. Let us assume that there are three students and all the students are enrolled in some course. Let us assume that student 1 is enrolled in course 1, student 2 is enrolled in course 1, course 2 and course 3. This is enrolled here. If you see here, all the students are participating in the relationship. All the students are enrolled in some course. So we can say that this side we have the total participation. If this is the entity representing the student, and here we have an entity representing the course, and here we have enrolled in relationship, enrolled in relationship. So all the students are enrolled in some course, but there are few courses in which no student is enrolled. So we can say that from the course side, it's having the partial participation, and on the student side, it is having the total participation. Sometimes total participation is represented by double line. So this is the representation for total participation, and for simply the participation, single line is there. Like on the student side, I'm saying that this is having the total participation, so this can be represented by the double line. तो आपको कई बार लिख के नहीं बताया होता है that it's having the total participation or partial participation. From the representation, you have to understand this point. Okay, so total participation is represented by the double line, whereas partial participation is represented by single line. Is this clear? So by this ER model is representing that each student is enrolled in a course, but some courses are not enrolled by, there is course 2 which is not taken by or enrolled by any student. Make sense? So this is about the participation constraint. Next we have weak entity, very very important. Weak entity type or identifying relationship. Weak entity basically represents the entity which is not having any key attribute. Okay, which is not having any key attribute, that is known as weak entity type. And when we have to relate it with the other entity through some relationship, then that relationship is known as identifying relationship. We have seen the representation. Weak entity is represented by double rectangle, whereas the identifying relationship is represented by double diamond. This is the representation used for identifying relationship. Weak entity type is nothing but this is an entity type that has okay, so it is having the key attribute which uniquely identifies each entity in the entity set, but there exists some entity type for which the key attribute cannot be defined. Basically, entity type is where we have the key which uniquely identifies each entity, whereas the weak entity type is when there is no key attribute cannot be defined, so that entity type is known as the weak entity type. Each weak entity type is represented by a double rectangle. I have constructed here. It is represented by the double rectangle, and the participation of weak entity type is always total. Hamesha, this is the important point. You can take a note of this point. The participation of weak entity type is always total. Hamesha total participation hogi, because otherwise we won't be able to relate it with the other entity or with the identifying relationship. The relationship between weak entity type and the identifying strong entity type is known as the identifying relationship, and it is represented by a double diamond. Like in some organization, there are few employees and they do have the dependents. Dependent means their children. Okay, and this is the employee relation. Now, employee is having the existence in the organization, and employee is having, there are few employees, those who are having the kids. Okay, so this employee has some dependent. This is dependent. Now, dependent is related to parent. Dependent की और child की अपनी कोई existence नहीं है organization में. Organization में child की existence किसके through है? Through its parent. So, employee has some dependence. Now, if you see here in the employee relation, employee is having the unique employee ID. Two employees can have the same name. Key attribute is represented by the oval and the underline. So the employee ID is the key attribute. Here we do have the name of the employee, phone number of the employee like this, or passport number, anything, address of the employee. If we talk about the dependent, dependent is having the name. Dependent की कुछ age है. Two children can have the same name. There is the age of the dependent like this. So if you see here, there is no attribute which can be considered as the key attribute. So we can say that the dependent is not having any key attribute. So this is nothing but this is the weak entity, because here the key attribute is missing. So we'll be constructing it by using the double rectangle. This is dependent. Here dependent is representing the weak entity. Since the employee is having the key attribute, so this is known as the entity type. Okay, and has is a relationship which is relating the employee and the dependent. So it is providing a relationship between the strong entity and the weak entity. So this has to be constructed. This is represented by the identifying relationship. Other thing is here, since it is relating the weak entity and the identifying relationship, so this dependent should have this participation is always total. And we have talked about the total participation. It is represented by the double line. So we'll take one more line here. So this is having the total participation. This participation might be total. ये total भी हो सकती है और it can be partial. Anything is allowed. Okay. This is about the weak entity type and the identifying relationship. I hope that this is clear to everyone. Now, this is the most important concept from the ER diagram, that is the minimization. In the minimization, what we have to do is, ER diagram is diagrammatic representation of the data in the database. It shows how data is related. अब हमें ये रिप्रेजेंट करना है कि जो आपको ER diagram given है when we are going to construct the tables for the same, how many minimum number of tables are required. Okay. So we have talked about the different cases. We have different cases like one to one to many, and many to one. So first of all, let's talk about many to one case. Many to one. Okay. Example is many students are enrolled. For example, many students are enrolled in a single course. Many students are enrolled in a single course. Okay. Let us consider one example. For example, we have a student relation. I'm just considering the key attribute from the student ID, and I'm taking in a single course. So course relation means I'm just considering the course ID. I'm just considering the key attributes for the same. And there is a relationship between student, this is student, and this is course. This is having the student ID, which is a key attribute here, and I'm taking the student name, not considering much attributes, course ID, and course name. Okay, and enrolled is a relationship here. Now let's find out student is the SID enrolled. अब अगर यहाँ पे हम एग्जांपल लेते हैं, this is for the enroll table. One student is enrolled, many students, S1, S2, many students. Students को कैसे identify करेंगे on the basis of the SID? Many students are enrolled in one course. C1. This is nothing but this is the table for the enroll table. In this table, can you tell me that what will be behaving as the key? Enrolled में यहाँ पे key क्या होगी? On the basis of the course ID, we cannot identify it, right? Student ID is unique here. So here the key will be the student ID. यहाँ पे भी key क्या है? Student ID ये कैसे आया? Because we are considering the case of many to one. Many students are enrolled in one course. So I have taken the example from the same. And in order to uniquely identify each tuple of a relation, we can see that student ID is behaving as a key. So for the enrolled relation, key is the student ID. देखो कि कहाँ पे key same बन रही है. Student के लिए भी key is student ID. Enroll के लिए भी key is student ID. Course के लिए this is CID. So we can merge the entity with the relationship where the key is same. So we'll be getting here one table for enrolled and student because they are having the same key. Course के लिए key different है, so we'll be creating the second table for course. This means that in the minimization of one to many, two tables are required. Here two tables will be created after the minimization. Make sense? Is this clear? So same thing we have to apply on one to one and many to many. We will look for the key for the entity and the relationship set. If the key is same, we'll merge it. Otherwise, we have to create a different table. Guys, quickly give me the confirmation. If it is clear, then easily we'll understand the other two cases as well. Quickly give me the confirmation. Hurry up. So second case is many to many. Okay, many to many. Any example for this one? For many to many? Many students are enrolled in many courses. Many students are enrolled in many courses. So here what we'll do is student is represented by the student ID. So here we have the entity for the student. Enrolled, and here we have course. Many students are enrolled in many courses. For example, here the SID is key is the SID for this relation. Key is the course ID for this relation. Now we have to find out for enroll relationship between the student ID and the course ID. So here the entries will be many students like S1, S2, many students are enrolled in one course, and one course is enrolled by many students. One course is enrolled by many students. Many students are enrolled in many courses. Student 1 is enrolled in multiple courses. This is the counter example. On the basis of this, can you tell me that what will be the key for the relation enroll? ये तो table बन गया. On the basis of this, can you tell me that the key for the relation enroll? Key will be here. SID is not behaving as a key. COSID is not behaving as a key. So key will be SID and COSID. Here we are getting a composite key, right? Can I merge this enroll relation with the student? No, because here the key is student ID. Here we have student ID and course ID. I cannot enroll this relation enroll with the course relation, because here the key is different. तीनों के लिए key different है. That means we need to construct 3 tables. Number of tables required, or you can say that minimum number of tables required are 3. In this case, minimization is not possible. You get this point? This is the case for many to many. Now let's go for the third case, that is 1 to 1. 1 to 1. For 2 minutes, I need to switch off my video because I want to utilize that space. Okay, 1 to 1. In case of 1 to 1, first of all, can you give me the example? Basically, there are 2 possibilities for 1 to 1. There are 2 possibilities. Anyone having any idea? Guys, I'm not getting any confirmation. On the basis of these concepts, we are going to solve the questions. If you are unable to understand this, you won't be able to solve the questions. So that's why I'm asking for the confirmation. First case is we have 1 to 1 relationship and we have total participation. Total participation is there on at least one end. Okay, so if that is the case, then in that case only single table is required. Here only single table is required, having the primary key of one relation. जिस प्राइमरी की कौन सी लेंगे? जो टोटल पार्टिसिपेशन वाला एंटिटी है. फॉर एग्जांपल टोटल पार्टिसिपेशन किसकी है? E1 की है. तो आई एम सेइंग हियर प्राइमरी की ऑफ E1 as its primary key. Okay, the reason behind this is since E1 is in total participation, so each entry in E1 is related to one entity in E2. E1 की हर एक entity E2 से related है, but not all the entities of E2 are related. So that's why we are considering the key for E1. Okay. So this is when we have a weak entity present, when there is no total participation, or you can say that this is a case when weak entity is there. When there is no weak entity, then 1 to 1 without total participation. Case 2, 1 to 1 with no total participation. I'm so sorry. I forgot to add here the extra slide. So that's why I'm writing this much content on one slide. Okay, so I'm really sorry for the same. Total participation. यहाँ पे कोई total participation नहीं है. So if both the entities are having the key, this is, let me call this as E1, this is E2, and here we have the attributes like A1 and A2. A1 is the key, B1 and B2. Let us assume that B1 is the key and here is the relationship R. This is one-to-one participation. तो key कौन सी आएगी यहाँ पे? एक entity is related with one value only, so you can merge it on either side. आप किसी भी side पे merge कर सकते हो because here the key for R will be A1 or B1. So this means that you can merge it either side. So we can say that R can be merged with E1 or E2. So this means that minimum 2 tables are required. Is this clear? Because of the space constraint, लिखने में शायद आपको ऐसा लग रहा है कि it's too much, but just go through this concept. अगर नहीं समझ में आता है तो आज वाली master class में will be discussing again with the help of the questions. Okay, just revise it. Anyhow, we'll be implementing all these in today's session. Is this clear? So this is about the minimization of ER diagram. So there are basically three cases: one-to-one, one-to-many, or many-to-one, or many-to-many. So here are the different cases for the minimization. I hope that there is no doubt. If you have any doubt, please write that in the chat section, because this is all what I wanted to discuss. Now we are going to solve one or two questions, and then we'll end our discussion. If it's clear, quickly give me the confirmation. If you have any doubt, let's finish it off first and then we'll move on to the questions. I just want you to show you that what sort of questions can be asked on the basis of ER model. Hurry up, guys. I guess this will hide a lot of content. Are you ready for the questions? If there is no query, so are you all ready for the questions? Let's talk about the first question. This was asked in year 2020. Anyone want to attempt this question? It's just on the basis of the representation. This is saying that which one of the following is used to represent the supporting many one relationships of a weak entity set in an entity relationship diagram. What is going to represent to support many to one relationship with the weak entity set in the entity relation? ER model में weak entity set को कैसे represent करते हो? First of all, entity is represented by weak entity set in an entity relationship diagram. Supporting many to one relationship. Many to one relationship with weak entity set. We have discussed this. It's represented by double diamond. Where is it? This is weak entity set represented by the double rectangle, but we have to represent the identifying relationship. Akshay, how is it B? You are just returning the answer. You are returning the representation for weak entity set. यहाँ पे आपसे weak entity set नहीं पूछा है. This is saying that which of the following is used to represent. इनमें से क्या represent कर रहा है? किसको represent कर रहे हैं? The supporting many to one relationship. Kiska many to one relationship? With weak entity set. So basically we have to tell the representation for many to one relationship. Let me construct here. Many to one relationship with one of the entity as the weak entity. This is something like many to one relationship. This is entity 1, this is entity 2, and one of the entity is having one of the entity is the weak entity set. So what is this, or how this relationship will be represented? So obviously this relationship will be the identifying relationship, and this participation will be total. So this is the identifying relationship, and identifying relationship is represented by double rectangle. Make sense? So here it is represented by diamonds with double or a border, a bold border. So correct answer for this question is it's option A. Next one. What will be the answer for this question? Just give it a try. This is the last question, and after that I'll discuss few important pointers, and then we'll end our session. And then I'll see you after 3 hours. In an entity relationship model, suppose R is many to one relationship from the entity set E1 to entity set E2. जैसे ही आपको कोई भी description given है, immediately construct a diagram that will help you better to understand that. E1 is one entity, E2 is another entity, and R is the relationship between E1 and E2, and this is given as many to one relationship. Many to one relationship. Assume that E1 and E2 participate totally in R, यानी कि E1 और E2 दोनों participate कर रहे हैं, and the cardinality of E1 is greater than the cardinality of E2. So what will happen? Cardinality is greater, E1, E2, E3, E4, and this is, let's assume we have C1 and C2. Cardinality is more, and the total participation है. So let us assume that this is related here like this. Total participation is there from both the ends. So this is the total participation. Now just try to map. ये मैंने randomly diagram बनाया on the basis of the description given in the question. Now this is saying that which one of the following is true about R. Every entity in E1 is associated with exactly one entity with E2. हर एक entity एक ही entity से related है. Yes, E1 is only related to C1, E2 is only related to C2, E3 is only related to C1, E4 is only related to C2. So seems like this is true. Some entity in E1 is associated with more than one entity in E2. क्या E1 में से कोई भी entity ऐसी है जो एक से ज्यादा entity से connected है E2 में? Is E1 connected with two entities of E2? No. E2 is connected with two entities from E2? No. E3? No. So this is more than one is incorrect. So this statement is false. Every entity in E2 is associated with exactly one entity in E1. E2 की हर एक entity E1 की एक ही entity से exactly एक ही entity से related है. E2 में C1 is it related to only one entity in E1? No. C1 is related to E1 and E3. So this is incorrect. Every entity in E2 is associated with at most one entity in E1. ज्यादा से ज्यादा एक ही एंटिटी से रिलेटेड है. एटमोस्ट का मतलब क्या है? जीरो से भी हो सकता है, बट यहाँ पे क्या बोले? इट इज हैविंग द टोटल पार्टिसिपेशन. दोनों की टोटल पार्टिसिपेशन है, तो जीरो वाला केस आ ही नहीं सकता. सो दिस इज ऑल्सो इनकरेक्ट. ओके, एटमोस्ट वन का मतलब क्या है? जीरो और वन. जब वन वाला केस गलत है, ऑप्शन सी इज इनकरेक्ट, तो डेफिनेटली ऑप्शन डी इज ऑल्सो इनकरेक्ट. सो द करेक्ट आंसर फॉर दिस क्वेश्चन इज इट्स ऑप्शन ए. जहां कहीं पे आपको कंफ्यूजन हो, बेटर आइडिया इज टू कम अप विद अ डायग्राम. जस्ट ड्रॉ द डायग्राम and see what is given in the options and just eliminate the options. Is it clear? Interesting? You'll find the questions of ER modeling more interesting when we'll be discussing the questions on the basis of the minimization. Is this clear? Anyone having any doubt? After this, I'll be discussing the schedule. I guess there is no query. Okay, so let me share my screen with you guys. So first of all, in order to get the PDF of this group of this session, you can join the Telegram group Shefali Ma'am Testbook, and in another 5 minutes you'll get this PDF in the Telegram group, and you can also post your queries in this group. You can directly interact with me. Quiz and polls will also be conducted. Let me show you that how you can use the link given in the description box. So just give me the confirmation if my screen is visible. All right. So here we are, and let's go to the YouTube session. So this is going on. So just go to the description box. You can see here. And first link is for the NIC NILIT batch से related है ये. If you are preparing for that also, then you can use this link to join those master classes. And next one is for joining the super coaching. So if you click on this, you will be taken to the link of the super coaching of the NIC. Then next link is for joining the Gate Super Coaching Telegram group. So in this group, you will get this PDF. So just follow this link to get the PDF. Okay. And also don't forget to subscribe the channel and obviously to like the video. तो जब आप channel को subscribe करोगे, you will get the updates and you will be notified when new sessions will be planned. So if you want to join the super coaching batch, just click on this link, and under this, in this batch, super coaching में benefit is you can follow the sessions of multiple educators. Okay, you can follow the course from the Gate Forum or from Digimento or from Nimbus or from Testbook itself. So I'm going to the full course. Full courses are available from Testbook, Digimento, Neve, and the Testbook itself. That is by me and my team. You can see the ratings of all these courses, and accordingly you can join the batches. अगर आपको नहीं समझ में आता, I'm not saying कि एक ही faculty की देखो. जब तक आपको concept clarity नहीं आ जाती, keep on watching the sessions. You have enough time for preparation of the gate, but I'm not saying time waste करना शुरू कर दो. इस time को आप utilize कर सकते हो by following or by learning the concepts from multiple educators. Benefit क्या होते हैं? एक तो different teaching style होता है हर इंसान का, and second one is they are taking the different set of examples. So ultimately, when you are following multiple sessions, you will end up with n number of examples and more number of practice questions like that. So this way you can make use of it. You can go through the profiles of the super teachers. You can follow the demo classes, because whenever we are enrolling ourselves for some course, we need some demo for the same, right? So you can join the demo classes, live series join कर सकते हो. In the live series, there will be the quick revision sessions and live doubt solving sessions will be there. Apart from that, you can write the mock test in order to keep track of your preparation. You will get the study notes. Complete detailed study notes are there, and formula notes are also provided. So all these notes are in the PDF format, so easily you can download it. You can take the printout of that according to your requirements. You can modify it. And then is how to get the super coaching. Just go to the pricing. We have three plans for the same: 3-year plan, 2-year plan, and 1-year plan. Basically, 1-year plan is for the students, those who are currently in the final year of BTech or those who are pass out. And 2-year plan is for the students, those who are in the pre-final year or final year, and 3-year plan is for the students, those who are in first year, second year or third year. 3 years बहुत होते हैं. So gate के ऊपर इतना stress हम क्यों देते हैं? Because when you have covered all the concepts of gate, all the PYQs of the gate, then it will help you a lot if you are preparing for other competitive exams. Okay, because in those exams, lot many questions, lot many previous year gate questions are straightway asked in the exam. तो आपको जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना, when we are preparing for some exam, we want some important set of questions. So previous year gate questions will be acting as the important set of questions. So my suggestion is, if you are going for NIC, UGC NET, ISRO, DRU, do cover all the subjects of GATE and at least last 20 year previous year questions of the GATE. Okay, and in order to get the benefit, or in order to get the subscription at the discounted price, just apply here the coupon code, that is Shefali S, that is also given in the description box as well, SHEFALI S. Okay, just apply this and you will get the maximum benefit. This is also written in the description box, so you can जैसे ही आपके पास लिंक आएगा सुपर कोचिंग गेट, उसके immediately नीचे यहाँ पे coupon code given है SHEFALIS. Okay, so this is all from my side. If you guys have any doubt, you can ask. So is the concept of ER modeling and the minimization clear to everyone? So in the next session tomorrow, we will be talking about the relational algebra. Daily guys, Monday to Friday, we are having Monday to Friday. We are having two sessions, one at 4 p.m., 4 to 5 p.m. This session is on YouTube, and second session is at 8 to 8:30 p.m. This is the Testbook Masterclass. In the YouTube session, we will be just covering the concepts and PYQs. Related PYQs will be covered in the master classes. Okay, so today we will be covering the PYQs at 8 p.m. on ER modeling. So don't forget to join that session. And those who are like a textbook के platform पे जो भी classes होती है, all the sessions are paid. So that's not the case. Both the sessions, YouTube तो free है ये. These are also the free classes, free master classes. Okay. So this is all from my side. If you have any doubt or query, you can ask. Guys, try to be the active listener, not the passive one, because in active listening, we know that it's a two-way communication. So whenever some question is asked, try to participate in the same. I'm not going to judge on the basis of your answers, right? Because I know that you guys are here just to learn the concepts. I guess there is no query. So this is all from my side. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you at 8 p.m. So please be on time and be prepared with the concepts of ER model. Thank you. Bye bye.